What's up, everyone? All right, well, here we are Tuesday morning, and second day or third day trading on my kind of trading station here back at the office, which is, fine. It's great. It's a nice setup that I've got here. I'm happy with it. Had a little bit of an issue this morning. Of course, like right before the bell, I tried to update one of my video display drivers and for the graphics card, and that caused some issues, but anyways, it's fixed now, so that's good. And it wasn't really that big of a deal. I wouldn't have done that if I was in the middle of a trade, but I was just trying to do some kind of like housekeeping, and it's one of those things like, all right, let's just get this done and then move forward, but do your software update and then keep trading, do your thing. But yeah, today it just ended up causing an issue. So yeah, something to be mindful of. But so yesterday we had some big momentum on NRSN, ended up going up over 400%, which was crazy. FDA clearance, that was the catalyst, and that thing took off. It went nuts. And the problem with it is that it basically squeezed up and then it pulled back, consolidated, attempted new highs. It made new highs up to 8, but on lighter volume, and then it faded. And so really, it felt like another instance where if you hadn't been willing to chase it at the beginning of that move, you just would have not gotten any trades on it at all, because it never really gave a solid pullback. Like I said, it did pull back after that first move back down to like $6, $6.15, and then it squeezed up to 8. So you did get that one retest to the high, but at that time it was on lighter volume, which means you probably wouldn't have been able to take as big of positions, and you would have gotten more slippage on your orders. So, and we saw the same thing today with LLL. So LLL starts squeezing up, and initially I was kind of had a bias on it because I saw there was a Chinese stock, and we know that Chinese stocks have been a little choppy, and some of them had dropped like crazy because of different regulations and things like that going on. So initially I was like, all right, it's a Chinese stock. The catalyst on LLL came out at like 9:45 or 9:36. It says signs blockbuster USD $60 million sales agreement. And the fact that it had Blockbuster in it, I was like, this is weird. Like, who writes? It just seems weird. So I was, and it's cross-border pet food in China. I was like, I don't know. This just doesn't seem right. I don't think it's going to do much. Well, sure enough, it ends up taking off. It goes from $2 to $7. And a lot like NRSN yesterday, it pretty much just went like straight up. And you never really got a good 5-minute setup on it. It pulled back. It did end up retesting, making new highs, but not clean. So LLL, we got some action on it today. It wasn't super easy. Again, it's just you had to be willing to chase it, embrace the chase. And if you didn't chase it, then you got no trades on it. And then there were a couple others that were sort of similar. They just took off. And today I got paid for chasing. And the fact is, as a momentum trader, you're training yourself to buy high, sell higher. You might be buying at half dollars or whole dollars on breaks of psychological levels that you want to see it hold above. You might be buying on a micro pullback on a 10-second or a 1-minute chart. And those are fine. We got 1-minute pullbacks on NRSN yesterday and LLL today. But if you were waiting for like a 5-minute or 15-minute type of chart pattern, you didn't get it. You had to be quick. You had to be aggressive on these two. And so today, I finished the day in the green, and we'll break it down in the recap. As always, questions, comments, leave them down below. Reminder, as always, my results are not typical. I'm finishing today up a little over 21,000 in my retirement and about 2,600 in my main account. So just around $24,000 in profit on the morning, and 10,000 was from LLL. LLL. So I hope you enjoyed the recap, and as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I will be broadcasting the morning show Monday through Friday. I start broadcasting anywhere between 8 and 9:15, depending on what's going on that day. So make sure you're subscribed so you get the notification when I go live. I'll give you my watch list. I may take a few trades. We'll see what the morning looks like. So hope to see you guys tomorrow morning during the morning show. And as always, questions, comments, leave them below. Hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the morning. So we're going to go over the trades from this morning. First trade of the day, PALI. I'm up 2,600 in my main account plus 21,000 in my retirement, so about 24,000 on the day. NRSN from yesterday had news of FDA clearance. So this morning when I saw PALI hit the scanners, it had news of FDA ... study may proceed letter. Not as significant as an FDA clearance, but worth noting. Similar catalyst in a way. And on this one, initially I saw it right in this area and I was like, I don't know, $1.15. I really don't like trading these cheap stocks. But as it started to squeeze up, I bought it on this pullback right in here. It dipped down on this candle right here, and I added it like 142, 30,000 shares. It went up to a high of 159, and that was enough for me to capture 2,600 bucks and sold the rest as it came back down. So, you know, decent, not great, and that was my only trade on it. It did, what ended up happening was we got this red shooting star candle. That on the 5-minute is not a pretty candle. It sort of ruins the 5-minute chart. Stocks can overcome those kind of candles, but it's not easy, and this one couldn't do it. So I didn't take any more trades on it. Then I switched to my main account, or my retirement account, for the next trade, which was DPRO. So the first trade on DPRO, initially pre-market, I didn't trade it at all. I saw it as it broke over this pivot. The level 2 is pretty thick. It's a 32 million share float. It's got 100 million shares of volume. And I jumped in it as it started to squeeze up. And you know what's really annoying on this is I got a pretty nice position going on this pullback, about 25,000 shares right in through here. It pops up to 84 and I'm like, nice. And then it flushes back down. So I got out with $25 of profit, which was disappointing because for a moment I was up like $5,000 on it, unrealized, but couldn't lock it up. Sold off. And that was a big kind of moment for me. That rejection candle at that point, I was like, I can't trust the stock. And then it did another one right here. So we saw this same kind of stuff later in the morning, afternoon on NRSN, those kind of rejection candles. They are not fun. I don't like them at all. And if a stock starts giving us that kind of price action, I'm going to have to be very careful on it. Because how do you manage your risk when a stock is showing a tendency in, one candle to do look at this one. I mean, this was obscene. Right here, this popped up to 675 and then dropped down to 526. It's a $1.75 range. How do you manage risk when you have candles like that? Right here, we squeezed up to 718 and then, right here dropped back down pretty quickly. That was a pullback, not as bad, but that kind of false breakout was really nasty. I think there were a couple others on it. Maybe that was the biggest one. But in any case, when you see that kind of price action, you have to be very cautious. And so I didn't trade NRSN today. And after I saw that on DPRO, I didn't want to go back. Rail, I took one trade on this, 1,000 shares, bought and sold. That was on this candle right here. Got in, stopped as it came back down, lost $100, whatever. And LL and FRGE, neither of these were on my watch list this morning. LL had news at 9:36. I was initially kind of making fun of it. Signs blockbuster USD $60 million revenue sales agreement. I was like, the fact that they're using blockbuster in the PR feels a little unprofessional. Then I saw it's a Chinese company and I was like, okay, so we've seen this China momentum. We've seen a lot of sort of weird price action in some of the Chinese stocks, but sometimes they do make big moves. So this one ended up making a pretty big move. And I believe it was a symbol change, previously KBSF, which we traded before. So anyways, this thing starts to open up. The daily chart, it's got a long history, so it's not like really an awesome daily chart, but a big candle today. So it squeezes into a halt at 243. All right, it resumes, and we got a nice dip and rip on it, and a squeeze. Let's see, right there from 289 up to 3, and up to a high of 365. We did get a false breakout on this candle right here at 368. It dropped down to 306, and then it rallied back up through that level. Now, this was not as bad as some of the candles I've seen, so was okay with it. Not excited about it, but was okay with it. NRSN is doing a little red to green move. I'm going to mute my scanners here. They're getting a little noisy. So anyways, as we broke through this critical level of 68, then 78.88 broke through 4, squeezing up, halting at 457. 10-minute long halt, opens, dip and rip long for the breakthrough 5, rips up through 5, up to 550, up to 560, 575, up through 647, hits a high of 667, and this candle comes all the way back down to 564. It tries to rally back up, drops down hard, tries to rally back up, drops down hard. So now at this point, I'm not interested in it anymore. I think we did a pretty good job trading it, but the 5-minute is showing a false breakout on the 5-minute chart, which was right in this candle. So I'm happy with how I did on it. I could have done better, but I did the best I could. So that was that. And then FRGE, this one, someone called out as it was squeezing up right here through 13 up to 1350. And I looked at it and I realized immediately blue sky setup. So I knew that this was either a recent IPO or a recent SPAC merger. And we've had some really good trades on these. Think back to ISPO, right? ISPO, recent merger, squeezes up, huge move. So when I saw it, I jumped in right away. I only filled 1,100 shares. It halts at 1438. It resumes at an open of 17. It dips down. I added off of 15, like 40, 1550 as it pulled back. And then it rips back up to a high here of 1870. I think it halted there. It then opens and goes up to 21.99, all the way up to $22.90. And so with smaller position sizes, I actually did pretty well in this because it had a huge range. And that's, of course, something that we talk about is looking for stocks that have the potential to give us a big range. Because if it has a 100% range, even if you only capture a sliver of it, a sliver of 100% is a heck of a lot more than a sliver of 5%. So like NRSN right now, it's, let's see, currently down 12% on the day. It just went from 5 to 570. But what's really your potential on this kind of setup? And I feel like your potential is pretty limited. You've got descending resistance as it is coming into almost perfectly. It's not a blue sky setup. It's not likely to break yesterday's highs. So your max potential is smaller. And if you catch a piece of that, I mean, you can catch a piece of it, but it's smaller. And every trade you take carries risk, especially when we see some of these candles that do these 50 cent or 80 cent rejections. So, at this point, I'm just grateful to be green, and, we'll be back at it as always first thing tomorrow. Hopefully we see some more opportunities. With NRSN yesterday, I thought that we would see some good opportunities today, and we did. LLL, I was skeptical of it and didn't trade as aggressively as I could have because it was a Chinese stock and the headline seemed kind of funny. But, it ended up going up quite a bit more than I thought it would. So I was sort of hoping that we would have some type of FDA clearance catalyst similar to what we had yesterday on NRSN. Something like that would have been awesome, I think. But anyways, didn't get it. And LLL, who knows? Maybe it keeps going higher. Your high up here was 72, but your 5-minute chart's a little bit messed up. It's not perfect. Nice dip, though, off the volume weighted average price, and you're up like 70 cents. So, you certainly can continue to actively trade these when they have this big of a range. I do think that this might be the backside of the move now, with the top really being kind of here. And that's what sometimes happens. They go from $2 to, 667. That's 300%, 200%. And then they just come back down and they don't give you really good second opportunities and things like that. So if you're not aggressive on the first leg of the move, well, that's it. That's all you're going to get. You got to wait for the next one. That's a little bit of FOMO, MOMO, and we see it for sure in a hot market. So anyways, that's it for me. I'm going to take the money off the table and try it again tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow can be another good day, maybe a little bit better even than today. But today was a great day. I hit my daily goal, 21,400 in retirement, plus another 2,600 in my main account. So 22, yep. So nice day, 24,000 just about. So happy with that. And we'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning, as always, right around 8:15 for students in the chat room. All right. Good luck if you keep trading. Be careful not to overtrade. I do find myself chronically overtrading, especially on days where I'm red. And I think to myself, boy, my next best chance for a really good winner, it's not going to be this afternoon. It's going to be tomorrow morning. It's not going to be this afternoon because there's not likely to be breaking news in the middle of the day that gives us a huge front side of the move like this. When you're trading the back side of the move, it gets really choppy. Sure, if this ends up continuing, breaking through 672 and going up to 7.8, there could be a few more trades because it would show that it's still front side of the move. But, you get candles like that and all of a sudden you're down big. And so until it really is breaking out to the front side of the move, it's hard to trust. And by the time it does, you're going to probably feel a little hesitant buying it at the highs versus earlier this morning when it was just getting started. So trading early in the move is almost always better. It's almost always cleaner. That's when we have the highest volume. You can look at yesterday as an example of this, NRSN. Your high volume was clearly in the morning, right? Clearly in that first squeeze, that was high volume. The second squeeze, it went higher, but on lighter volume. There's a divergence there. Lighter volume means liquidity is not as good. It's harder to get in, harder to get out. You can't take as big of a position. So you really are better off being as aggressive as you can in the first leg of a move and taking your money off the table. Now, I know I sometimes will overtrade them and sometimes it'll pay, but not always. FRGE, I still like it. I still think it has potential. It's still well above my two entries. So 1920, we'd want to see it get back above there. And then if it can break through 2087, I'd love to see come back and see this one up at $35 or $40 because of this recent IPO de-SPAC type of setup. I just don't know if it's going to happen. ISPO, when it started to open up on this day, it moved more. I think it caught more people's attention. I'm not sure that FRGE is on enough traders' radar right now, but it is up 96%. So it is one of the leading gainers in the entire market right now. It's a big deal. And it's going up there 2050 and 2086 to the halt level. So, you can clearly see, and there's 2137. There's something here worth watching. In this position here, now you're up, $2 a share from 19, but I would keep it on watch. I would see if you get some clean opportunities. The volume, will it get higher than it got in these two candles? I certainly hope so, if it breaks through the high. But as we saw yesterday with NRSN, it's not always the case. So sometimes they go higher, but then on lighter volume, and then that makes it harder to manage risk. So anyways, I don't want to give back profit today. I think if I do, I'm going to fall into that trap where I'm going to give back, $5,000 or whatever. And then I'm going to try to make back the 5 I lost and then lose another $2,000 and then try to make back the 7 that I lost and then give back another $2,000. And then I'm up only 10,000, 12,000 on the day. And I'm annoyed. And I'm like, gosh darn it. I should have just stopped. Should have quit while I was ahead. So I'm going to quit while I'm ahead today. I wish I had done that yesterday, but I'm going to quit while I'm ahead today and be grateful for the green day and give it another try tomorrow and see if we get some more opportunities. And for those that keep trading, good luck, get green, stay green, try to walk away green. Green, green, green. All right, that's it for me. Reminder as always, for those watching the recap, trading is risky. Most beginner traders lose money and my results are not typical. All right, so take it slow. Trade in a simulator before you put real money on the line and don't try to blindly follow me or anyone else. Practice, practice, practice.
And that right there was an entire video with no ads. I don't monetize my YouTube channel with video ads, which means you guys get to enjoy the content. But do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up and let YouTube know that this channel is the channel to watch if you want to learn about day trading.